Welcome back, everyone. All right, let's just dive right in. Today, we're going to crack open another huge piece of the Plaz puzzle, staking. And to do it, we're going to tell a little story. A story about a magical candy piggy bank. So let's do a super quick refresh. In our last explainer, we talked all about how Plazm actually makes real money from its candy swap shops, remember? And how it uses that profit to buy and burn tokens, which makes your tokens more valuable. That was the foundation. Okay, so now that we're all caught up, are you ready for the next piece of this puzzle? Because now we're going to talk about how you can start earning rewards directly from this whole system. And trust me, this is where things get really, really interesting. To really get a handle on what staking is all about, I want you to picture something with me. Imagine you have a magical piggy bank, but for candy. And this isn't just any old piggy bank. No way. This one has a special power. So imagine you take 10 of your favorite candies. You pop them into this piggy bank, and you lock it up for a few weeks. The timer goes off, you open it, and poof! It's not 10 candies anymore. Now there are 12 in there. That simple idea, that's staking. You lock up your Plazm tokens for a set amount of time, and in return, you get more Plazm back. It's really the ultimate reward for just being patient. But wait a second, how does the piggy bank know exactly how much extra candy to give you? It's not just random magic, right? Of course not. There are rules, and this is where the real strategy comes into play. So let's break down how these rewards really work. Okay, so the number one most important thing to get is this. The whole system is designed to reward your patience. Plain and simple. The longer you agree to lock your Plazm away, the bigger your share of the bonus rewards is going to be. It's really that easy. And this slide right here shows you just how massive a difference that time makes. If you lock your tokens for just 7 days, yeah, you'll get a nice little reward. But if you commit for the full 77 days, well, the reward isn't just a little bigger. It is so much bigger. It's like winning the grand prize just for being a long-term believer in the project. All right, so that leads to the big question, right? How does Plazm actually do the math and figure out your specific reward? What's the secret formula?
Don't worry, you're not going to need a calculator for this. We're keeping it super simple.
Well, the system figures out your reward using something called shares. And the absolute easiest way to think about these is like raffle tickets, candy tickets for a daily prize drawing. The more tickets you have in that jar, the bigger your slice of the daily candy prize pool is going to be. And here it is, the secret recipe. Your total number of shares is calculated by taking the amount of Plazm you stake and multiplying it by the number of days you lock it, squared. That tiny little 2 up there, that is the magic ingredient. It's what makes time so incredibly powerful in this system. And this chart really just brings that whole idea to life. Take a look. Let's say you stake 100 Plazm for 10 days. You get 10,000 shares. Not bad, right? But if you stake that exact same 100 Plazm for 50 days, which is 5 times longer, you don't get 5 times the shares. Oh no, you get 250,000 shares. That's a 25 times bigger claim on the rewards, all thanks to that little squared symbol in the formula. All right, so you've done it, you waited patiently, that countdown has finally hit 0, and it is payday. So let's walk through what happens when it's time to cash out your stash. It is exactly what you would hope for. When that lockup period is officially over, you get to collect everything. That means your original candies, the Plazm you put in at the start, plus all of those sweet, sweet bonus candies you earned just for being patient. And from this point, you've basically got 2 main choices. Option 1, you can eat the candy. You can take your Plazm and do whatever you want with it. Or option 2, go again. You can put it all right back into that piggy bank for another round and let those earnings compound. Now, there is one little thing you got to keep in mind. If you let your finished stake just sit there unclaimed, a tiny lazy fee starts to kick in. It just means your bonus rewards start to slowly shrink over time, so it's a great little nudge to claim what's yours. But what happens if life happens? What if you need to get to your funds before the timer is up? Well, you can unstake early, but there is a trade-off. If you open that piggy bank ahead of schedule, you'll have to give up a piece of the bonus candy you've earned. It's just another way the system makes sure that patience literally pays. So we've pretty much nailed the how, but now let's talk about the why. You know, why did Plazm build the system this way in the first place? Why does it reward patience so heavily? It's time to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. And it's a really important question to ask. Why go through all this trouble to create a whole system just to get people to lock up their tokens? What's in it for the Plazm ecosystem as a whole? Well, it really all boils down to one word: stability. See, when a big chunk of the tokens are locked away in stakes, it reduces the amount that can be sold at any given moment. This helps to smooth out big price swings and just creates a healthier, more predictable environment for everyone. And we've got to connect this back to our first explainer, because this is so important. The rewards you're earning here, they aren't just magic internet money being printed out of thin air. They're backed by real yield, the actual profits that are generated by those candy swap shops. That's what makes this whole thing sustainable. Okay, we are in the home stretch. We're almost at the finish line. But before we do a final recap, I want to share one little pro tip that adds a whole other cool layer to all of this. So get this. Plazm actually lets you wrap up your entire stake, your locked Plazm and all the rewards it's going to earn, into a tradable NFT. Think of it like a digital trading card or a title deed. So if you're halfway through a 77-day lock and suddenly need cash, instead of unstaking early and taking that penalty, you can just sell your piggy bank NFT to someone else. It's an absolutely brilliant feature for liquidity. All right, let's lock in everything we've gone over. Staking, that's our magic piggy bank. The shares, those are the candy tickets that decide how big your prize is. Waiting longer gives you that super-powered time-squared bonus. Opening the bank early means you lose some candy. And that NFT piggy bank, that's your tradable lock. It all fits together, right? So in the end, staking is way more than just a way to earn a few extra tokens. It's a way for you to actively participate in the health and the stability of the entire ecosystem. Thanks so much for joining me for this breakdown. And in our next explainer, we are going to double-click on that time-squared formula and really explore why it's the secret sauce for the entire system. You're not going to want to miss it. I'll see you there.